If I ask you one question about the biggest change Pokemon X and Y brought, most of you, if not everyone, would say the same thing. The shift from 2D to 3D graphics. That was an amazing shift, I must say. But when we compare it to the older entries in the series, it just doesn't quite match the vibe those classic games had. Before we dive deep into today's discussion, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. It genuinely helps me as a new creator, and hey, let's aim for 100 subs before August. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. The first 5 generations from Red and Blue all the way to Black 2, White 2 are some of the most beloved in the entire franchise. Who doesn't love the Pokemon from Kanto and Sinnoh, the incredible adventures we had in Johto, or the amazing storylines of the Hoenn and Unova games? What these games had in common wasn't just one standout feature. They were incredibly well balanced. If the Pokemon designs were great in Kanto and Sinnoh, they were equally fantastic in Hoenn. The overall map design was superb in Johto and Sinnoh alike. But when it comes to the modern games, standards seem to have dropped. Pokemon X and Y were a major graphical upgrade, fun to play, and Mega Evolutions were a generally cool concept. Yet the game felt too easy. For the 3DS era, I'd argue the games, despite some flaws, largely met expectations. But when we hit the Switch, well, I think we all agree with my points. Let's Go Pikachu EV just never felt like core Pokemon games, more like a Kanto themed Pokemon Go spin-off. Then there's Sword and Shield. Aside from the bad textures, what truly is there? There's virtually nothing to explore, nothing to see, nothing to find. The story is nearly non-existent until the very end. And even then, it makes little sense. You can't take 10 steps without being interrupted by a cutscene, and the characters simply refuse to let go of your hand. BDSP were literally copy-pastes of the original, with nothing genuinely new added. I actually discussed VDSP in another video, so go check that out if you haven't. Finally, Legends Arceus. This was a breath of fresh air. I absolutely love the new concept, and it genuinely has me excited for the upcoming Legends ZA. And then, Scarlet and Violet. The open world concept made a huge difference, no doubt. But what's the point of an open world when the gym Pokemon aren't even scaled to your own level? It completely undermines the exploration freedom. Now let's talk about something that never plagued the 2D games. Frame rates. Did you ever see a Gen 1 to 5 game lag in your life? Of course not. Now let me ask the same question again, but about any 3D Pokemon game. The answer is obviously yes. Remember how I said 3DS Pokemon games were great despite being 3D? Well, not always when it comes to frame rates. The overworld usually ran fine, but step into a double or even a triple battle with intensive Pokemons like Hoopa and Bound, and that little 3DS would start to struggle. The modern games target 30 FPS, and they often can't even maintain that. This was somewhat acceptable for the underpowered 3DS, but for the Nintendo Switch, a console that runs masterpiece games like The Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, plus many other AAA titles from third-party developers, it's inexcusable. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee didn't have that much lag apart from some parts in Viridian Forest. Sword and Shield lagged in certain areas too, but Scarlet and Violet? The game lagged literally everywhere, and honestly, it doesn't even look as good as Breath of the Wild. We will discuss why Pokemon games don't have visuals as good as other Nintendo titles in one of my upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Despite not looking as modern as 3D games, 2D Pokemon games still hold up beautifully. Games like Scarlet and Violet often feel outdated compared to other major modern releases, but the 2D games simply don't. Some of you might not fully grasp this point, but anyone who plays a diverse range of games will understand. Even without those flashy 3D graphics, the old games excelled in every other aspect. I'm not saying all 3D games are trash. The 3DS had some truly amazing Pokemon titles. But the direction the franchise is heading now isn't good for its legacy. I'm not saying we need to bring back the 2D art style after especially seeing how terrible BDSP handled it. What I am saying is that Game Freak needs to take more time and release polished games. With the Switch 2 now out, packed with some extra juice, there's absolutely no excuse for releasing games that look and perform like they belong to a PlayStation 3. Comment your thoughts on this video, hit that like button, and please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, farewell.